My special thanks to pinsound.org for sponsoring this video. We have Kanedas on today. We're going to talk about John Wick, the newest game from Stern. Hello, Kanedas. Welcome, buddy.
What's up? Big week for Stern Pinball. Well, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Are we happy?
I think it's been an entertaining week to observe this game launch. Lots of drama, lots of upset people, a lot more than we've seen recently from a new Stern launch. But we'll talk about it. But I think they miscalculated how to bring this game into the marketplace.
Tell me about the launch. What do you think? Being a marketing guy, what do you think? Let me hear your opinion.
Here's why I think the launch for them didn't go the way they wanted. Because whenever you launch a product, as a company, you kind of want to control the narrative and have people focused on the benefits of the thing, right? So, and that's the thing that's missing from this launch is Stern lost control of the narrative. Everyone's just talking about the guns not being on the artwork. And nobody's talking about what I think is the main feature of this game, which is the artificial intelligent, like AI controlled game code that actually changes the way you play the game based on how good you are at being John Wick, the hitman, killing the bad guys. And they buried that in the lead of this entire game launch. And that's what happens when you go to these junior Mickey Mouse, content creators. They avoided all of us. Like, they didn't go to you, they didn't go to me, they didn't go to any. Like, who did they go to get the message out about this game?
Who are these guys, Chris?
I don't know.
Who are
I don't
they?
know. I never even saw any of their videos. Apparently, one of them does like arcade one-up videos. I heard from Gomez that they did a West Coast, East Coast, Central media tour for the game. I don't know if they hit up any pinball media, but they didn't hit up Kanedas.
It feels like they're jumping in over to the, PlayStation, Xbox generation people with neon colors and, and DLC people. It feels like, I feel like I'm the old guy here. I feel like we're left out. No pinball media. It's new guys, but they're welcome, of course. But it's a bit shocking for me. I mean, I really love when a guy like Zach makes these featurettes and what's going on this time, man? It was really different for me.
I think what they're trying to do, and this is not like wrong, is they want to expand the reach of their product and the category. And if we go to new people, we will reach new audiences. The only thing is, this is a $7,000 to $13,000 item that most people are not looking to get in on. So like, I don't think you're going to reach pinball buying demographic people if someone's content is based around like $300 like arcade one-up machines or Xbox downloadable content. And we know that if you want to sell more pinball machines, the best way to do it is to go to those who have the most captive pinball audiences and give them enough information to get people excited about the game. And I think that, Cengiz, is what has happened here. Is that Stern just is like, well, all the pinhead content creators, they're just going to cover it anyway. So we'll go over here. And then what happened was when Gungate exploded, all the pinball content creators were just like losing their minds yesterday about this thing. Even I had some, drama around it and saying like, oh, they fired blanks on this John Wick game. The more I think about it, it's not as big of a deal as people are making it out to be.
Exactly.
But there's a but here. Yeah. I think what's happening is what Stern is feeling right now is a delayed, like residual anger people have towards them based on the moves Stern has done over the last few years with the price increases, the obvious direction of this company towards downloadable content, which is going to be a major headache for people as we go towards Spike 3. And that's what I think the Gungate is really just an excuse for a lot of people to say, I'm not happy with you, Stern. You don't know me. You don't know what I want. If I love John Wick and you don't give me my guns, how dare you insult my existence with this kind of offering? And I think that hyperbolic response is uncalled for. But I also think Stern is really going to eat a lot of humble pie. And I think they're not used to this, Cengiz. They're not used to, the phones are not ringing off the hooks to buy these LEs. I've talked to some distributors today. These are guys who normally are getting around like 20 LEs allotted to them, and they've got like 3 orders. What are they going to do? How are they going to manufacture 17 more buyers?
How 3 orders? Did they have 3 buyers, or did they only order 3 from Stern?
They only ordered. See, the thing is this: they only ordered 3 from Stern. See, here's what's happening, people. Is like LEs. The thing is, this is like, for the longest time, and for many years, every LE was pretty successful out of the gate. In fact, for many years, every LE was sold out instantly. And now you've got this period now where you've oversaturated the collector market. You've destroyed it basically, because 1,000 John Wick LEs that's not even close to what the true demand is for a $13,000 John Wick. I would say they maybe got 150 orders, maybe on day one. That's a long hill to climb to get to that 1,000 units. I don't know. How many do you think they sold? And after what happened yesterday, I didn't see many people being like, I'm all in on an LE.
Well, the thing is, usually Stern, they sell out in an instant. We all know it. But this is a really thin line, and it's really, really hard to find out, because selling out, what's that? Is it Stern to sell out, or is it all the distros sold the LEs out? I mean,
right. Well, no, like we always look. There's the sell through, which means Stern's customers are not you and I; they are the distributors and the dealers. So Stern just needs to get dealers and distros to place an order for 1,000 John Wick LEs. When they do that, they don't care anymore. Like, it's now up to the dealers and the distros to sell those games to buyers to make, their margins and make their living. But what's not happening anymore is the dealers and the distros are not going to do that. They're not going to absorb 1,000 Stern LEs every single launch, because right now, a lot of those dealers are sitting on unsold Venom LEs. And this is, when you think about it, and again, I think this is where all the anger is coming from. And I don't think it's just a few, crazy like content creators or gun lovers or gun haters. And all that's kind of just like gotten people distracted from where the real anger is. It's that Stern Pinball, since COVID, Seth Davis marched in there like 4 or 5 years ago, and his goal was to increase the price of the product, not increase the bomb or what's in these games. I mean, look at John Wick. I mean, when you look at that game, is there more in John Wick, Cengiz, than is in AC/DC?
Absolutely not.
Is there more in that game than in Ghostbusters?
Absolutely not.
Right.
No.
Games, which what were they when they were new? Like 6,500, 8,000 at most. So now we're spending so much more, and they're not putting a lot more in it. And again, the only way you get away with that, there's only one way to get out of this hole Stern has put itself into, is if AAA theme done right is the only way out, right? And so John Wick, without guns, just on an optical level, isn't done right. So that's like triggering everyone's anger towards Stern for making this hobby so expensive now. And that's removing, I think, a lot of people's enthusiasm and enjoyment when a new Stern comes out, because it's more like an insult on your intelligence if you actually think 1,000 Stern LEs at $13K a pop is them giving us value. It's just not there.
But you said AAA done right.
Yeah.
If we just forget about the gun stuff, that's just childish, in my opinion. Okay, done right. They have like 45 minutes of the video assets. They have 10 actors. They have triple ramps. They have some moving toys. They have okay artwork. Yeah. Some of it is actually cool. I like the layout. It's not just a fan layout, but it feels like a fun, fast shooting layout. Done right. I feel like the game is done pretty right.
Right.
I mean,
well, it's to me, I don't have any. Look, none of us have played it, right? This is also the funny part about pinball is like nobody's played a game. We all react. Like,
to
as I
this
was,
4-minute video. It's important to say we have this little 4-minute clip. That's only because when people watch this a week from now, they have much more info.
People are gonna not be so angry when they see the code and John Wick firing his gun throughout all the movie scenes. There's nothing. John Wick to me, when I look at the game, there's nothing about it that like I hate, right? I don't hate anything about it. There's nothing like the artwork I think is fine. I think it works. The New York City skyline, what they're going for with the different environments from the John Wick universe, all of it works. You know, it's like nothing's like, oh, like that's a deal breaker. But there's nothing like really new. There's nothing innovative. There's nothing that feels original. And it just feels like Stern Pinball is in a little bit of a rinse and repeat sort of pattern with these games. And that's okay when games were much cheaper. So when you bought one of these things, you didn't lose your shirt because you know, and I know, if you buy a John Wick LE for $13,000, this very game, new in box by the end of the year, will be $9,000 on the table. And that game is in the back of your truck. And that's the thing. It's like, who wants to continue to support, you know, this elevated high cost of pinball when the innovation is not there? And also, Cengiz, like the mechs are not there. I mean, look, the main mech.
Well, prices, let's just go 1 year back. So which game did we have? We have
Jaws and James Bond.
Jaws, James Bond, and Venom. So Jaws LE. How are the prices today for a used LE?
Jaws is holding the best because Keith Elwin, you know, and Jaws as a property, you know, people have been waiting for that game for a very long time. So Jaws used, they don't pop up that often. It also feels, Cengiz, like Jaws just came out. you know, like people are like game. They're just dipping their toes into the water. Let's talk about
Venom and Foo Fighters.
Yeah, those are both of those. Terrible on the used market for an LE standpoint. Like an LE of Foo Fighters, 13 nowadays, all day long, you're getting it for $900 to $9,500. Venom is even worse. Venom, like people just don't even want it. So like,
I'm telling you, Foo Fighters LE is a great game. I mean, no matter what, it's an awesome game. I mean,
but again, it always should have been 10.5. There's nothing in Foo Fighters that commands 13. But again, look, we could have, it doesn't matter. Like Stern made their decision, they made their bet. And I think what they're feeling on this John Wick release, though, is just, again, this like delayed residual anger that I think the community has towards Stern based on where Seth Davis has taken this company from a price standpoint. Not only that, he also like increased the volume of all of these LEs, which also screws over all the collectors that wanted to just have something that at least would hold some value because of scarcity. And again, this isn't why we love pinball. And I've heard this sort of indictment, if you will, from other content creators that it used to be great when we just talked about if a game was fun or not. And that's all well and good. But what is never fun is constantly losing money. Like that, you know, we're still adults. We're still men who work hard, women who work hard for our money. You know, we don't want to like, if you bought 3 Stern LEs, James Bond, Foo Fighters, and Venom, you lost when you went to go sell those games at least $10,000. Who wants to lose that much on just 3 games? And here's the thing. If you just waited, you could get all 3 of those games for $10,000 cheaper. And that's why I think, Cengiz, John Wick almost like irrelevant, because unless it was going to be like a Star Wars or a Pokemon or a Batman or a AAA theme, John Wick is like a Venom. It's a B+ theme at best. People haven't been waiting their whole lives to get it. It's not something we've dreamed about owning, but now it exists, right? And so it's getting put into a marketplace that is already angry about high prices with a theme that's not a dream for most. Of course, it was going to be met with this kind of reception.
I mean, you and I talked about John Wick 6 months ago, And I told you, I am dreaming about these buildings like on the pop bombers on Ghostbusters. I don't know if you remember
Yeah.
that much back, so long back. Yeah, we had a lot of dreams, and you were like, "This game will tank when it comes out." You said that all the time, and I was like,
I
"I'm
just knew that
excited for this title."
Stern just
I
doesn't
was
have.
excited.
When you look at the theme of this game, where they're trying to recreate the environments of John Wick, Stern just doesn't have the innovation or the technology in their games to do this theme true justice. And look at what they had to do, right? To create this like neon city skyline. Did they use like fiber optic lighting or like LED lighting throughout? Did they do? No, they just put cheap neon plastics behind flat plastic buildings. That's how they created a neon night line, like a skyline. And that's the thing is like Jersey Jack, if they were making John Wick with their lighting system, I mean, the city should have had like spotlights and, stuff happening and lasers and mirrors. Like if you go watch John Wick, it is like this rave inside New York City and Tokyo and Paris. You don't get any of that when you look at this Stern game. And when a mode starts, you got these cheap 20-year-old lights just randomly blinking. Like it just doesn't have it. And I think everybody's saying to Stern with their wallets staying shut, if you want to charge us this, go over and play an Elton John and tell us, Stern, that you can't make your games be more atmospheric and impressive. You need to. They can't sit still and charge us 40% more for these games.
But they're soon to be released Spike 3. I know it's all about DLC and stuff like that, but Spike 3 is going to be more powerful, have 4K images, but also faster light control because the Spike 2 is limited.
Yeah. And whose fault is that, though? But whose fault is that? Why have we been sitting on dated technology for such a long time while they jacked up the prices? And Cengiz, maybe that's another reason why John Wick is not selling. Why does anyone want to go all in on the old technology, the old hardware? We know that Stern's next, evolution of their platform is in John Borg's Metallica coming out sometime in the fall. So
it's so dangerous that George Gomez, he said last year that, Spike 3, they were working on Spike 3. It's soon about to come out. As soon as people hear that, they're like, okay, better technology. These old Spike 2 games, will they feel obsolete? But also, how will the cabinets be? Will they change in design? Because we all like that they're all the same, I mean, after I heard that, I lost all interest in buying Spike 2 games like so many others. This should be the biggest secret. We know they're constantly working.
They're not going to change they won't change the cabinet. They don't need to. The cabinet's fine. Spike 3 is primarily going to be, we're going to feel it with the internet connected. That's really, the big upgrade that's going to come. I mean, like Stern Pinball, and I don't dislike this concept of like connecting all of the games, connecting the owners with each other. It's all great. It's just at what cost? Because are they going to keep the prices the same? Are they going to charge us to unlock different modes? If they have a music pin like Foo Fighters, Cengiz, hey, if you want 3 more songs, that's $19.99. I think we're going to start to see some of that when you sell your game.
Monthly subscription.
When you sell your game to another pinhead, is your DLC transferable to the person you sell your game to, or does that person have to re-register and buy that content all over again? Also, none of this is pinball. This isn't why we love pinball. I don't go to pinball machines to have DLC. I don't want to spend $13,000 on a game that's not complete. For pinball, really,
this is the next step. This is the next step in evolution.
Why?
But you can see what Seth Davis is doing. They know. Okay, our demographics always has been 40 to 60-year-old, 70-year-old fat white men, right? Now they're aiming at the Xbox playing generation. They're maybe 30 years old, 30 to 50.
Yeah. and
So
those
they have got
have no
us
money.
all.
They don't have money. They don't have,
Some of them have money, Chris.
I'll
I mean,
tell
no,
you this,
you
I'll
can't
tell you
say
this right
that. You
now.
can't say that.
I'll tell you this right now. You make good money. I make good money. Not the best money, but we earn a good income. I have a dual income family. $13,000 is a lot. Like that hits you. Like, I don't care like how, you're now talking to people making $500,000 or more a year are like, and you start to thin out a lot of your potential buyers. And, I think it's going to get to a point where the growth in pinball will come if you just make the best damn pinball machines imaginable for the most reasonable price imaginable. That's pinball's future. The future of pinball is not connectivity. It's not. It's never going to be that. Like, the people who buy these things, they never demanded that. And all those years of pinheads, saving Stern and investing in these products, we've never been like, man, I really wish this thing like had DLC. No, we just want a game complete on the day we buy it. It's hard enough to get to the end of these games and get to wizard modes. Most people never see the end of the game they own. Why do they need more? They don't need more. They just need more magic. They need more mechs. They need more toys. They need more moments that they're never going to forget when they play the game. That keeps them coming back to get to those moments again. It's beautiful said, Kaneda. Beautiful said.
I understand what you're saying, but you have to be in Stern's shoes also. All this downloadable content, it's just easy money. Easy money. Why should they leave the money on I mean, they can make this John Wick game. They can hurry up and release code 1.0 and say, this is it.
Yeah.
This is the code. Everything after will cost you $29.95.
Yeah. No, it's yes. Look, there's always more money to be made. And just because you can do something that makes your company more money, it doesn't always mean you should. And I think that's the dilemma of, I think, what's happening in the Stern boardrooms. Yeah, we could charge $2,000 for toppers. Yeah, we could raise the price to $13,000. Yeah, we could do this. We could do that. We could do DLC. But if we keep doing this and we keep squeezing our customer base, will they stick around? Because what will happen is, once enough people get fed up with some of those high prices or shenanigans, then they stop buying, then games start piling up. And this is what I think is beginning to happen right now, if it's not already happening, is Stern's making a few, like, I don't know what, like 20,000 or more games a year. If those games are not getting sold and they're sitting as inventory, whether at warehouses or distros, then who's buying the new stuff? The dealers and distros have too much money tied up in the old stuff. They don't have capital to buy the new games. And then when a game like John Wick comes out, it's just kind of like an easy game to sit on. I'm not saying people aren't going to buy this game eventually, but who really needs it right now? Like, a few thousand people just got Jaws and haven't even explored the full game yet. It's just, I think Stern might have to rethink this and only deliver 2 games a year. Like 2 bangers a year.
No, don't say that. I love when they release games. More.
I mean, it's fun for us, but I don't think there's enough like consumers out there. Because I know I saw some quote by Zach Sharp. He said that Stern has grown 15 to 25% year over year for the past like 10 years. I have a hard time believing that Stern grew 25% last year, or even 15% after they raised their prices.
But it's because of all the things you're saying right now. That's because Stern knows this more than you and I. That's why they're reaching out for a broader audience, Chris. That's why Seth Davis are making these.
Yeah, but I think Cengiz, for every one new audience they're going to capture, they're going to lose 5 of their core.
They have got us old dinosaurs.
No, they don't.
Have got us in their pocket.
They don't have us. Did you buy games? I used to buy every LE. I don't do it anymore. You used to buy you're not buying this game. They don't. No, this is the thing. That's the thing. And that's what I think this community is. There's a lot of people that just want to send Stern a message. You don't have us. You had us. You had us in the halcyon days 5-6 years ago when every single game was like a great value exchange between manufacturer and consumer, and they passed on to their customers some secondhand value. They've now taken that all back and then some, right? So look, COVID made everybody crazy. I think Stern made some real, business decisions, thinking that demand would remain the same as it was during COVID. This isn't a cancer drug. This isn't a medical treatment. There's not like an inelastic, forever, infinite demand for your product. Like people will have a price point in which they say, I'm not doing it anymore. And for some people, Cengiz, it's not even price points. And that's what, to bring it back to John Wick, there are people out there that took this removal of the guns from the artwork as a political statement from Stern that they don't believe in guns and they've gone woke and they won't buy this game now on principle alone because they're gun lovers. And it's I don't think Stern did that. There's guns in the video clips, but everyone's got their values and their beliefs. And, for some people, this move not to put that in the artwork is enough to say no to the game.
I mean, that part from other media friends we have got, saying Stern didn't put the gun inside, don't buy the game. I think that's ludicrous. I don't get that.
The thing is look, I think George Gomez should have came out with the reason why there were no guns right away. And I told this to him. I was talking to him. I'm like, George, like, you got to control the narrative. And, he ended up posting on my page and his comments got shared far and wide. And I don't think that George Gomez is lying to us, right? I don't think that. I would never challenge the man's integrity. I heavily respect George Gomez. I absolutely believe that Lionsgate and their approval people might have made it harder for Stern to put what they wanted. Even if Stern signed a contract to make the game they wanted, the approvals people have final say, or else your game's not making it to market. And so, I
have a question. Wait, I understand that, and I believe what George says. Respect. Can you explain me why Lionsgate said don't put guns in the artwork? Do you know why?
No, I don't work there. How would I know?
I'm
assuming
why?
That they might have, that this might be seen as a toy. And because of that, they might want to like minimize. It doesn't really make sense because there's like Funko Pop characters of John Wick with guns. Like there's probably backpacks for kids with John Wick with guns on it. I don't know. I think the world is a little upside down over the last few years and everyone is nervous and, they're is someone going to play it after decades of people playing Call of Duty and Grand Theft Auto? I highly doubt that a pinball machine, the most innocuous toy, would ever incite any violence or encourage anyone to do a violent act. But, I don't know why. I just think the way it was handled, I think they handled it poorly. I think you get one chance to make a first impression on a new product release. And I think avoiding the pinball media, going to these new media outlets to just cheerlead the thing, it didn't work. And then George had to go do damage control with all the tried and true content creators. And even that, it just put him on his back feet. Like, he's on his heels. Like it felt like, I've been reading messages between George and his own buyers, like getting in fights on Facebook. That's not good. Like that is not a good look for Stern. It's not a good look for the community. And I think people hopefully will learn from this launch and maybe just do it differently. And, I don't think we're going to see this kind of issue again. I don't. I think
we don't know, Chris. We don't know.
What's next? It's like Pokemon without the balls, without Pikachu, like lightning's too dangerous. I don't think we're going to see it again.
It was also weird for me. We were sitting there, we were waiting, next hour, come on. And then we got the Stern, trailer, and same second, we're getting all these media creators. They're making, trailer reaction, blah, blah. And then this guy, hey, I played the game. Here's my cell phone camera video. I was like, What?
Yeah.
Who is you,
Yeah.
man?
I didn't even
What?
realize Stern had marketing offices in LA. I thought there's only like 2 people in the marketing department. No,
I mean,
it was like a little bit of a weird launch. And again, Stern's
yeah.
launch strategy all these years has been to try to keep everything secret, embargo everything, pull the curtain off the game, and that would create FOMO to instantly sell out those LE machines. I mean, that's all it is, people. And for
FOMO is important,
yeah,
Chris.
for 10 years, they had FOMO going perfectly well. Everyone was think about it like this, Cengiz. When an LE instantly sells out, what does that do to the premium? It makes it like the next best thing that you want to get.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when you're charging $9,500 for a new in-box premium, which is unlimited now, and you've watched the last 3 LEs minus Jaws slide down to $9,500 in value within a year, you really have to be a moron to buy an LE. And you also have to be a moron kind of to buy a new in-box premium, because if you just wait just a little bit, I'm not asking you to wait years. If you wait just a little bit, you'll be able to get an LE for the same price that your premium is now costing you new in box. And that is why Stern's new model, it's not working. It's not sustainable. Again, this thing is like built as if what's up?
If you could choose,
yeah,
maximum 500 LEs,
mm-hmm.
no games over 10K, put more toys in games. Which one would you choose? More toys, max 10K, 500 LEs. What would help?
I mean, I would choose more toys because like I just want there to be like
that's because you love pinball. That's because you love the world of the glass.
I don't want to have these price discussions all the time. And I think we're having these price discussions because there aren't magical toys in these games. They're not. Like the fact that I could go back to the mid 90s and go down a row of games, and in each of them, there's way more toys and mechanical magic. Stern Pinball has pulled the wool over everybody's eyes. I mean, it's like they want you to value software, artwork, LCD screen, animations. You know, they like, okay, look at John Wick. It's 2024. This guy who made the game, we don't even talk about him too. They like buried the lead designer. He's not even anywhere in it. Like, I don't get it. Like it's his, and I think George said he's like somewhat shy. He's not good on camera. Fine. But still, like, find a way to make him feel comfortable and introduce him so he can talk about his new game. You know, it's like,
show the enthusiasm behind it. It's really important, man.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, you know, and I just think like, it's not gonna work out because he's the mechanical engineer. And then when I look at the game, I mean, think about it. When I always pay attention when they launch a product, I want to hear about the first 3 things they really celebrate and highlight. They did the Mustang, you know, that drifts in front of the Continental, the Bash toy. And then like the second thing was like expression lighting. Like they knew there was nothing else. There wasn't another thing that was engineered that they could really highlight. And then when you start calling a pop bumper the nightclub, like enter the nightclub area, again, that's a pop bumper.
It's fast-paced area.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, once we start doing this and making ridiculous terminology, that's a pop bumper. That's not a nightclub. That's not a separate environment. You know, it's not an upper playfield, a lower playfield. You didn't put that much in it. And
they have the medallion that opens.
I mean, Cengiz, I know, like, wow. You know, it's like
I want toys to interact with the ball.
Yeah.
Okay, like magnets or destroying buildings or something. Also, why doesn't the building get destroyed? Why is the building this small and the car is this big next to it? It doesn't make no sense. This is building.
Scale never. I mean, I never.
It's just.
Yeah, but like look at the Mando. Look how small the Mando spaceship is and how big Grogu is in Mandalorian. Like,
but they're not next to each other. I mean, this is just, I don't know. Maybe when we see the game, also all that green silhouettes behind the buildings. Maybe when we see them, we don't get the 2D plastic we see in the
It's gonna
videos.
be fun. Like
Maybe it will
these
give us
games,
a cool effect. We don't know yet.
I've found this in our, all the years I've been covering pinball is like when you actually stand over the machine, they always look better in person.
Yeah.
They're always more fun, to stand over, and they don't feel as empty as they do sometimes when we're just staring at these like videos and these screenshots.
Yeah.
But again, like John Wick, to put a bow on all of this, I think it was a terrible launch. I think they didn't control the narrative. I think they got caught off guard. They thought this wasn't going to be a big issue, and it obviously was a big issue. And that's just a great example of you don't want your marketing team to get blindsided. And they should have seen this coming. They should have. They should have known someone's going to make a comment about there being no guns in the artwork. Let's get in front of it and just say, due to the licensor's request, but don't worry about what's on the art, because in the game itself, you are going to see John Wick fire his gun like all day long. They didn't say that. That's all they had to say. They had to just get in front of it, rip the Band-Aid off, and you're on to the features you want to focus on. They didn't do that. And then, now
You're right.
it's like it's anyone's guess, if people are going to warm up to this game. And, people just sent big checks for Jaws, and people lost a lot of money on. Think about it. I keep thinking about this. Imagine you're a Stern faithful and you've bought every Stern, and Stern launches James Bond's 60th. And you're like, I'm going to get one, right? And your dealer's telling you it's priced right at $19,999, and you buy one. Stern, Keith Elwin, only $500. And now the game is worth around like $11,000. You just lost $9,000. So you think that guy's going to run back and buy? You think that guy, I mean, we're pushing people out of pinball faster than we're bringing new collectors in. We are. Like, I
think it was a market test.
Yeah, and it failed. And that's the thing is, look, I do marketing for a living. You don't want to fail, especially marketing something so easy where you have such a captive niche community to market towards. Why do you need more money? Why did you need to be so greedy, Stern, on so many of your recent moves? Why? As if you're not.
But Chris, if they want to sell the company as you say they want to, then they need to get the highest value out of the content.
Again, they won't admit the company is for sale. I'm not 100% sure it's for sale, but does seem like they were cooking all the books over the last couple of years to make Stern seem more, profitable for a potential sale. But look, if Stern sells and someone buys it, it's over. It's over. Seth Davis is not the future of pinball. Seth Davis is the end of a company like Stern, because he's not the kind of guy that cares two craps about what the community wants, what the buyers want. He's only about making more money for him and the shareholders and the investors in Stern. And that's it. And that's not who you want leading a company that is a niche industry. Community passionate people have kept pinball alive. And a guy like that will squeeze as much blood from us as he can, and then it's over. And he won't care, because he'll have his golden parachute, make his tens of millions of dollars, and move on to the next company in which he'll do the same exact thing. He didn't succeed at Disney. He didn't like leave Disney better off than he found it. Look at Disney. He wasn't even CEO of Disney, but like, you know what I mean? That
so
company's been destroyed.
You're saying Stern increased the bill of material with $1,000.
No, they didn't. They didn't increase the bill of materials.
No, you're saying they should do that. They should do that. That would help.
If you're gonna go from an LE that used to cost $7,500 to $13,000, it's right. It's like hard to even think about that. Like how $5,500 more. That's like an entire price of a Stern Pro on top of what it used to cost to make one single LE. I just think they should be giving the designers and those teams like more to invest in the games, because the games are looking dated. They're looking like they lack innovation, and they don't look anywhere near what they're costing. And, a final thought, then I got to bounce, Cengiz, is like everyone should just go stand over in Elton John and don't complain about the theme, but just go stand over what a modern pinball machine should look like, just from a presentation standpoint and an experiential standpoint. That's what a game should be if we're going to charge over $10,000 for any pinball machine, right? Spooky pinball machines don't look that good. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like almost every Barrels of Fun, Labyrinth is over $10,000, like all these games. And yet, you know, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it in the price. And it's unfortunate because I just want to get back to pinball being priced the right way. And then I also want to make sure people don't put pinball machines in front of windows. And that's really the only two things that I care about.
Chris, buddy, this is my fault. I mean, this video should be all about John Wick, but I feel like I didn't do my job pretty good because this video is like just a phone conversation between you and I. So
No,
I hope the viewers will think it's okay. I hope so.
And just to clarify behind you right now, because just people are confused by this concept of pins in front of windows. Your pin is not in front of the window where it's blocking the window panes, right? It's to the side.
No, I can go there, open the window. Yeah, no problem.
Now you've got like a movie poster, it looks like, behind your Last Action Hero, right? Looks terrible, right? Like, why you're blocking a movie poster with a back box. Now, that my whole thing is, if that was a window, you can't put a game there. You can't put a game there. We're going to bring this world back to harmony and feng shui, and we're going to get it right. Enough of this yang energy. Everybody, be good. Subscribe to Kanedas Pinball Podcast, to Jengiz's, and, you know, Pin Sound. I'm going to give them a shout out. I mean, they just make pinball machines sound better. I mean, what more could you ask for? You know, and I get no money to say that. They, you know.
Soon I will make a video showing all the great products Pin Sound is gonna deliver to John Wick to make it even a better experience. Just wait and see.
Pin Guns. They need to change the name to Pin Guns, and then they're good.
Oh, yeah. They actually do sell shooter rods. All right, Chrissy. I'll see you on the next release. Okay, baby? Bye.
Later.
Bye.